Hello, everyone, and welcome to RHAP's coverage of Survivor 49 for Survivor Global. I'm your host, Shannon Guss, here from a week away. We're covering episodes 6 and 7 today, which is great because it was the arc of Sage and Jawan. Made it super convenient for us to talk about that in like one smooth motion. So we thank them for that convenience. But to talk about it, to recap it all, after a couple of weeks of podcasting, I have my great friend and Australian survivor, Titan. It is Eden Porter. Eden, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me, Shan. Yes, great 2 episodes to chat about. They do seem like, kindred spirits, both these episodes running right into each other. Almost a double episode you could have got away with doing this at the same time.
In saying that, so when we last left, we were like 2 tribes ago. Like they've subsequently swapped
Yes.
and then merged. So it feels like a long time ago, but I think like even before, I mean, obviously even before I left, it was already leading to Sage is turning. We knew what the new tribe dynamics would be in the swap. It looked really bad for Shannon.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like a couple of minutes into this latest merge episode, I was like, God damn it, Nate is gone, which was so upsetting to me because I love Nate. But I was like, they're gonna like shift it to Nate. We're
there was
clearly gonna lose.
the safe vote
Yeah.
of like,
And
he doesn't have anything. Yeah.
We knew Sage and Jawan were out. So I mean, I'm enjoying these last couple of episodes. I said this on the live RHAP show. Glad to get the first non-unanimous vote of the season. Glad to have someone actually left out of a vote. 3 people left out of the vote, which is great.
Yeah, yes.
You know, for the first time in the entire season. I would like if an episode, like the most predictable person before the episode doesn't go home.
It felt every vote has felt very much like this is the person that probably should go home if everything was playing by the numbers, and they do every time.
Every single episode of this season, if you were to like predict who is going home before the episode, like if you know the tribe designations, and you're like, also obvious. Countering in who might lose a challenge, like I think the top person has gone home pretty much every time. If like at worst, like top 3. It's never been like, oh, but now I feel good because now I feel like you'd think Sophie, Rizzo, or Savannah, and I just don't think that's gonna happen, right? So I mean, this is not Hina's game. It's not Hina's story. So
it's the first time in the season that I'm feeling like, but I've said this a lot this season. I'm like, oh, the next episode's going to be good. Something's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. I've been thinking that. I've been praying to the Survivor gods, and then every time it's like, no, it's pretty straightforward. This is what's happening. But this time will be different, Shannon. This time will actually be different.
Well, I can tell you for a fact, I've not been saying next week will be good. I've been very down on the season. But next week, I do believe
will be good. Yeah,
we will get someone who doesn't seem like the obvious boot, either pre-episode or in the first couple of minutes. I was very upset to lose Nate. And
so was I.
Yeah. Nate was
do you know he's a fan of Australian Survivor as well?
I thought you were going to say, he's a fan of Marvel, which is obviously...
Well, obviously. But he's a fan of Australian Survivor.
Yeah, I know. He was talking about your season.
Then I was like, he might have, exactly. He might have, this might be happening. And then I thought, oh my God, we could talk movies together. This would be amazing. And then I thought, I wonder if he saw me doing movie references. And he's like, that's the kind of guy I want to hang out with. And then,
almost definitely, yes. Almost definitely. But the weird thing was that, like, because those were the first interviews Mike put out. And it was Nate and Jawan. And they both talked about Australian Survivor and they both talked about Marvel. That's why it felt like it was so kismet that they would end up working together, which they obviously did not. I think Nate loves you. He definitely watched your season and he loves movies.
This is good. This is so good. This is, I'm going to have to try and get in contact. I can't get in contact with him. I can't find him anywhere.
No, he's like really important. You definitely can't just like get in contact with him.
Get in contact with him. I don't know. I'll just fly over to America. I'll just see what he's doing. See what he's up to,
He also is like famously like he's not on social media. He doesn't know what like cinema means. Ironically, he never says cinema.
I know. He uses it in the correct terminology. Sorry, Rizzo.
Yes, because he is in the cinematic business. But
as we call it.
A couple weeks off. I wanted to say thank you for everyone who came up to chat in San Francisco. Had a couple of nights of, I was going to say a couple of conversations. I had hundreds of conversations with the listeners, and thank you for enjoying the coverage and everything. And people brought gifts for the baby. It was so sweet.
Oh, that's so cute.
It was, every time I go to one of these things, it's like, damn, this is the most special community. Loved every bit of that. I'd be remiss if I didn't say while I was away, they announced the cast of the next Australian Survivor season.
Yes. And obviously a good friend of mine, is on the cast. Very excited to see one half of the Invisible Hand back out on the island. I cannot wait to see how it all pans out for my friend Mark. And also there's 3 other returnees as well, which are all great people as well.
So,
but my boy.
A lot in that. So rude. So rude. I barely ever take vacation ever.
Yeah, really throw it all out there.
I know.
And
I
this
was like,
is early for a cast
day.
announcement, by the way. We're in November.
I know. It's like should I be doing some podcast on this?
This is very early. I don't know what their game is, but they're getting people pumped. They're getting people excited for it. I don't know. Does this mean they're going to release it earlier?
Please God. I mean, it's if it comes out at the regular time, it's the worst possible time because I'm having a baby right in where that time would be. So it was kind of just like the first inconvenient thing.
50 is going to be on then as well?
Yeah, having a baby like right around when 50 starts. That was on me. Like that one I knew, but I'm like kind of hoping that
that's on you,
that that Australian Survivor could maybe shift around it, even though it definitely won't. But I was like, oh, and then they did the cast announcement while I'm not even there, in like, with my head in the game. And it's like, that's the first inconvenient thing about this season for my life. And then it's like, it's so annoying because they've made me invested because they have Brooke, Harry, Mark, and Simon.
All the big names, all the redemption. People. They're all looking for redemption, Shannon. What do you think about this theme?
I mean, it's such a stupid theme for newbies.
I know, it's wild.
It's a great theme for returnees. Sure.
Yeah. There's so many of us that need redemption, and it goes on and on. But they've found people, they've found newbies that have things to overcome and to get redemption on and to get back at the world for. So I don't know. There's going to be some good sub stories, some good I've lost my job and this, that, and the other.
What else? What's the second thing other than I've lost my job? You trailed off there, like you were going to say more.
Look, there's plenty of things to get rid of. Maybe you got divorced, Shan, and now you're your own person, and you have to get back out there.
How much would it suck to be the ex-spouse in that redemption story? Not
but
there.
still bring them out for the loved one's visit.
Well, we've kind of had couples on the rocks, right? But I think. Yeah, I mean, I've never I can't think of anyone in my life who needs redemption. It's not like a civilian thing. The same way when they cast civilian villains, civilians. That's what it should be.
Civilians. Yeah, that was
dumb as well. I was actually with some of those people a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne.
That was I don't know what was Fraser? Wasn't he like a real estate?
He was a real estate agent. That one actually speaks for itself. But Mimi was saying, I was with her a couple weeks ago, and she was like, her thing was like, I like fast cars, and it was like, there's not any.
Such a villain.
Yeah, I mean, they should have lent on it even. They could have had murderers. They should have just gone to a prison.
This is like Hunger Games style now, Shan. This is a different show completely.
Yeah,
and I like it.
The people in Hunger Games are very much like the victims, but I do think that this makes no sense.
Such a Hunger Games defender, Shannon. They're actually victims,
I mean, they're not like
what about District 1 people? District 1 people are not victims. I'm sorry.
They are of the capital still. I mean, there's a spectrum. But and they're kids. They're literally children. So yes, they are. Okay, I will die on this hill. It also needs to be said that probably a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks before this cast went out, we played an online game, me and you, called Equilibrium, that Simon had organized, and we now know apparently to scope out the competition. He was hoping to get Mark to play, and Harry did play. Mark didn't play. Anyway,
Mark wasn't cut. Mark came on really late though.
Into the casting?
Yeah. I think Brooke and Harry and those guys were because Harry was meant to be on a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And he just missed out. So I think he was in the Rolodex for a long time.
But more importantly, we played this ORG, and we were ride or die allies, and then Eden was voted out, and that was over then. And then
it's sort of my thing getting voted out, Jen.
And I was heartbroken, but I had a ride or die alliance with Eileen and with Harry, and Eileen also, unfortunately, things went wrong. But Harry and I were the final two, and then I won, and then Harry went on to Survivor with Simon, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have so much opportunity to talk about this ORG the entire season until I have a baby. And I was like, this is my favorite thing because it's going to be relevant, because Simon and Harry were playing. It was weeks before they went out max.
It's so weird that happened, and then they were both out there together. That is weird.
No, Simon did it on purpose.
That is sad. Well, that's diabolical then. It's not weird.
Yes, it's very, very...
The puppet master Simon. Yeah.
Like the Hunger Games children. Victims.
You were... What's your favorite district, by the way, Shannon?
12. Who has it?
No, what's the lumber? What about the lumber district or the fishing district?
District 6. District 12 isn't like how Gryffindor is actually not the best house. Like District 12, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a big enough Hunger Games fan, but like, I don't know. I don't have like I'm a Hunger Games casual, but I think it's a great series.
It's a great, mate. There's another one coming out.
Oh,
there's another. Yeah.
Oh, I know about that.
Another prequel. Yeah. So get ready, mate. Get ready for it. Should we talk about this season now?
This season, this season of Survivor. So where do you want to start? I mean, yeah. What are you feeling?
Can I ask one thing? So episode 6, they do. What did you think of doing the tribe swap again into 3 tribes of 4?
So bad. So awful.
I didn't like that at all, Shannon. I'm just going to say that. Voting blocks of 4 people voting is not. No, it's not good.
I mean, we want a 4-person vote, but not like this. We really monkey board that. We really might. They were like, oh, so it's the 4-person vote you want. It was like, we've been pretty specific that we want the final 4 vote. 4 people. They're like, have all the final 4 votes in the world. It's like, we actually just want we want big tribes early, and we want to get it down to small votes late. It's the standard way that votes work. But no, this was so claustrophobic in a way that I don't like about the new era. And even like Rob and Steven were talking in that note also, that episode about like, well, why weren't they throwing challenges? And we've spoken about that the whole season. But you can't throw this challenge because there's nowhere to move. If it's like they throw the challenge out to take out Nate, what if Rizzo passes in the idol? What if he happens to have something? What if he plays a shot in the dark? There's no splittable options. There's not even a second person.
What if Christina tells Sophie that she's the decoy vote and Sophie gets pissed off and gets Alex and Nate to vote off? What if that happens?
I mean, I guess that's what production would say, is that like it's so claustrophobic that that's how those tensions bear out. We get a lot of that, like, I mean, they could have done it with MC, thrown it to take out MC, and she would have had the idol. So, I mean, I think it just it limits options, but I guess it just builds that tension, and that's what they think. It's like, the game is a monster, the show is a horror movie, there's nowhere to hide. It's like, sometimes we want places for people to hide, like
in the shadows and hide and sneak through and plant seeds and stuff. You can't plant seeds and you can't do that in such a small group. It's got to be, hey, this is the person we're going for, let's do it. And that's it. That's it. And that's what we saw. That's what we saw playing out. Like, Nate was dead in the water. Nate was dead in the water in that tribe. I really do feel like they wouldn't have flipped or done anything like that.
They got lucky. The show got lucky in that we saw like the Sage Shannon dynamic play out. And that's been made very entertaining by Sage. That's, again, it's like, it's so classic new era where it's like production gets in its own way, but then the show is cast well. And then like a character will do something fun, and that's what Sage has been doing.
Yeah, it's like despite itself, it still can work if you have people like if Sage and Shannon aren't on the same tribe there, like just this totally fall flat. Like it's really hard to build something out of that without Shannon there. Like it really helped that Sage this was her coming out episode, really. This was when she was really starting to. Yeah, she's had a few now, but she's great. How do you feel about Sage?
I think Sage, has been carrying a lot of the season. She's brought the heat in a season that hasn't had a lot of heat, and like they talk about like Sage and Jawan flipping. And I know that there's been debate over the last couple of weeks as we talk through this like multi-week flip. And it's like, well, aren't you just going from the bottom of Uli to the bottom of Hina? And honestly, maybe. But like, you're playing to win, like now they're taking the game in hand and not just playing not to lose, which is great. Like that's an actual swing. And I actually do think it's better because it's like, and it's like, okay, well, Hina's now a 7. You've gone from the bottom, possibly the bottom of a 6 to a bottom of a 7, but you're like cemented on the bottom of Uli. Like that, we know you've had weeks to work it out. Like you're definitely at the bottom of that. Whereas Hina, the cracks will bear out. We have seen the Sophie Christina stuff. I actually think having a slightly bigger group of 7 is better for this because there's more dynamics and fractures that can happen in the 7. I think that there's just potential there in a way that there isn't for Uli. And I think that Sage does so well to make that happen, so well to bring in Jawan. You'd love to see flips in twos. That's the best way to do it. You don't want to do it alone.
No, never.
Really has to drag Jawan across the line, even at the point where Shannon is coming for Jawan. Poor loyal Jawan, who never did anything to Uli and was the most loyal person ever. It's still like, but maybe not. And she just does so well with that. Like, I think she's done amazing, Sage.
Yeah, Sage, the conversation that she had with Jawan where she just threw it all out there and said, look, Shannon's actually coming for you. Shannon's doing this. And Jawan suddenly, it's like a light went on in his head, because apparently Shannon had like told them sort of, yeah, I'm going back with Savannah and Rizzo and stuff like that, and Nate, and you guys can still be with. Like, it was very obvious in the way that Shannon was talking to them that they were the 5 and 6 of that group. And I think it just took Jawan this long to really see it and really realize. But thank God he did, because it would have been, this is at least something interesting. And now I feel like this vote in particular was one of those votes that sort of brought them together and really solidified them. Sometimes votes, I don't know, even though it's not great going to tribal council here, but I feel like this has set these 3 up, the bottoms up alliance. It's really set them in stone. By the way, I hate the bottoms up alliance as a name.
Really,
I think it's terrible.
Face.
Yeah, I really don't care for it. It it's not conducive to any theming. You can't do any sort of puns on voting people out with it. It's not great. It's not great. Are you with me with this?
I mean, the bottom puns on Australian Survivor are usually a lot more explicit than bottoms up as well. Thanks, so it's like you're not even taking it to its like full potential.
Thank you, JLP. Thank you very much. But Steven's done a great job here getting in with these guys. And I think Steven put in a lot of work with Jawan in terms of sort of nerding out with him and those two going off together and try and bro down. And then Steven's the one that's really got the connections in terms of being with MC, having the cross-tribal alliance there. I think he's put himself in a really strong position as well, being that linchpin between lots of different groups. It's a really perfect position to be in.
Stephen really impressed me in how committed Shannon was to him, because Shannon, like, I know we're weeks past it and we're just beating a dead horse at this point, or killing multiple chickens, but like, it was so self-defeating to go to protect Stephen, and she liked Stephen so much and was prioritizing this like backup alliance that she had with him, that she goes for Jawan. In a world where she's going for Stephen, I think Jawan, I think Sage probably does get Jawan over the line, and that kind of feels where the power balance of that duo is. But she has a lot less to work with. Like, at the point where Shannon's coming for Jawan, now Sage and Jawan would have to actively do like a 2-1-1 to vote out Steve, to stay with someone who's voting for Jawan. Like, it was a no-brainer. At the point where they're just plain swing votes, where Shannon's voting for Steven, Steven's voting for Shannon, maybe Jawan does have more of the emphasis of that power. And she was just so committed to having her cake and eating it too. Like, she was really playing both sides. And in her mind, Uli probably still do have the numbers because she's keeping Sage. So that's a bad read on that situation. But she's keeping Sage. And then they have Sophie. So that's 6 Ulis with Sophie, Blue Sophie. I can't. But the Sophie we know, I think that's how we've been designating it on this podcast. And she thinks she can have her backup. But it's like, she really was playing both sides in a way that they didn't really have to lie that much to extremify the fact that she wasn't prioritizing Uli. Like, Uli wanted Jawan as a number. Like, Uli have been down in numbers now based on the fact that Shannon, pushed them away and also wanted to vote one of them out. And I think a lot of that is a credit to how much Shannon connected with Stephen, who didn't even want to work with her, who immediately voted her out. So he did really good work there in making himself this, like, real option for Shannon in her mind, even though he really wasn't.
I actually think Jawan was the worst target for her to pick in this situation. I think because of Stephen and Jawan started to have a relationship, I actually think there's a much better chance if she could have got it across the line to get everyone onto Sage. She's already been doing that in the previous. She sticks to her guns. She says, guys, you guys have something going on. I've got this. Let's go Sage. Let's put it all together. Or even the flip side of that is, let Stephen go. Say we're going to stay together. Sage and Jawan, let's stay together. Let's just pile on Stephen. Rah rah rah. Let's keep it strong. Let's keep it strong. I think Jawan is probably the worst person because Stephen sort of likes Jawan. He's like, well, why am I voting out someone I sort of like? And then Sage has obviously been working with Jawan, wanting to turn Jawan against Shannon. Shannon just didn't have a good read on that a lot of the time. Like, her reads on people were not great. And like, Shannon in herself, I found Shannon really interesting as a quote unquote villain, right? So they talk about this fakeness and her
I
sort
have
of
so much
like
to say.
leaning into
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Well, let's open this up now, because I think what was missing from this to start connecting with like the audience and stuff, because people didn't like it. They didn't like how it came across. They thought it was fake. What she needed to do was just show a bit more of awareness, a bit more of, I would have loved to have seen a confessional where she said, yeah, I'm leaning into this to get these people
then
on board.
Shannon's a different human being.
Yeah, well, evidently, but there's got to be a part of you that the way that she almost convinced, like there were points when she was like, oh yes, Sage, now we can work together. This is so great. Sort of pretending like she wasn't trying to annihilate Sage in the previous iterations of the tribe. She was literally saying, oh yeah, we couldn't be too friendly because people would see us as a pair. And like, no, you were actively trying to get her out that whole time. Whereas I would have loved a confessional where she was sort of saying, oh yeah, look, I tried to get Shannon, I tried to get Sage out then, but now I can't. So now she's on Mount, and just explain where she was coming from. That would have made her a much more interesting sort of villain. I think people would have endeared that more and gone like, oh yeah, she's great. But because that wasn't there, I think that's why, yeah, ultimately no one's really that upset that Shannon's gone home.
Well, I mean, firstly, yes, Juwan was the worst target because Juwan had to be actively convinced to vote her out, even when she was targeting him. So, like, Juwan was super loyal. Sage hates her. So she couldn't have got Sage out, I don't think. But,
yeah,
at least it would have been the right read on that dynamic. And Steven as well. Like, Steven, she's going fully to bat for, and it's not reciprocated, and actually doesn't seem to have been reciprocated the whole time. Like, Steven would have voted her out in the last tribe as well. And she's, like, really going to bat for him. So it really, like, it wasn't the option. And the fact that she would go to Sage and be like, we should vote out Juwan, there was just, like, nothing going on there with that group. And I feel like the whole thing's been like an Uli Hina war, and then she's like wanting to sacrifice an Uli. It's like she wants to work with Steven. That's the wrong read because he's not even doing that. But even in a world where that was a nice idea and Steven does want to work with her, like, you've now been, like, unfortunately put in the situation of this really small tribe where pushes come to shove and you can't have that backup and you have to kind of choose a side. But she was trying to have her cake and eat it too, and she actually had no cake. So I think, obviously that was the wrong thing to do. She just invested so much in a relationship that wasn't there, and even if it had been there, wouldn't have been the right thing to do. In terms of Shannon as a villain, I come in here like every week defending Shannon. We have very little in common for the other fast talking, talks too much Shannon in the Survivor world. Other than those things, like, no, if I was on the island, is Shannon my cup of tea? No, but I did think a lot about how she was saying she could remember the womb, and I was like, oh my God, what do you do?
What you think?
Can you imagine if my baby remembers? Yeah, if my baby remembers watching Shannon saying that she remembers being in the womb, and there's some sort of like wombception happening. No, Shannon and I don't have a lot in common. The God stuff wouldn't vibe with me.
No.
The chances of me taking that the way Sage does, very, very low. I mean, very high. I'm the Sage in the situation, 100%. Like, I'm not vibing with it.
No.
People don't like Shannon, possibly politically, possibly because she seems kind of annoying. The God stuff, I get it. Objectively, Shannon, like, is not the villain in the situation. I think, like, if you really lay it out, like, I think Shannon was kind of genuine, and it's like, okay, yes, she was trying to take Sage out of the game and then would come back with her. It's like, all those things can be true. She had a bond with Sage that never really played out. In the first tribe, like, Sage wasn't her priority, and that's how that happened. In the second tribe, they have to turn on each other. Like, they're both on the bottom. There's nothing she can do. And in the third tribe, I think when she's like, I want to work with you, I think she means it, and I think all those things can be true. And even if it is a bit fake, it's all in-game fake. There's nothing that Shannon ever did to Sage or to anyone that I think was malicious. Even the stuff that's like Sage was like, she'd lean into the Jesus stuff and more like different spiritual stuff with everyone else. All that stuff can be true. Like, spirituality, again, not for me, but for others, might be complex, might be nuanced, might be varied. I don't think that to her it was fake. And then when I look at this dynamic, I think Sage is great TV. I don't think she's a bad person at all. But I'm like, I see Shannon trying to work with her at times. Even when she's not trying to work with her, she's not pulling faces about her. Sage is the one, right? Like pulling faces.
But Sage is being edited as the hero in this situation.
Of course, she's being edited as the hero, and she's great TV. And it's not that it's not that she's a bad person, but just like if you actually look at this dynamic, there's one person who's like, I love you. And even if it's fake, it's like, okay, I love you, but I'm not working with you in the game. And there's another person who was like, I hate you personally, like as your being. Do you know what I mean? And it's very possible that Sage, I think, incorrectly read malice or like a personal thing from Shannon because it came across as so fake. But I actually don't think that was there. I think if I see malice or personal, a personal approach, it's from Sage, and I don't see it from Shannon. I never did, to be honest.
No, I think it still comes down to the fact that Shannon was targeting Sage hard in the last tribe, and then she never. Yeah, I know she had to, but then to turn around and be like, mwah, mwah, I love you. You're actually my spirit animal. This is like, that is a bridge too far. Just, you need to look at that more logically. Yeah, you do. You need to look at it more logically and say, yeah, we were both on the bottom. We were fighting for our lives, but now we can build something different. What do you want to do? Let's, like a logical, like strategic Survivor person is going to look at it that way. They're not going to suddenly turn around and be like, oh, I'm going to do kissy faces with you, and you and me, we were destined to be on this, and it's all fine, because you're not owning up to the fact that you targeted her. You're not owning up to it because you're trying to get that by her.
Okay, but even if that's true, what's the worst she did? Try to target her in the game. Didn't prioritize her in the game. You know, that's all in game. I've always found all the stuff with Shannon, it's like, she's so fake. She'll find what people care about and talk to them about it. I'm like, well, that is, to be fair,
that is what you should do.
Human connection. I'm not saying that Shannon played well. Again, I'm not saying, and again, if I'm in the speech, I think that I feel this way Sage does. And I don't have a good poker face either, and people annoy me all the time. You know, like, see, I would be that person. But
see, we say that, like, yeah, look, she finds something that people care about and she connects with it. But like, the facts are, she didn't connect with Steven. She didn't connect with Joanne. She didn't find that thing with Sage. These are all people that she was talking to about stuff. Look, could it have been different? Like, her and Christina seemed to have connected a bit more with that. I think there was an element of it. I think she was just unlucky to fall into a position with Sage twice, which is very unlucky, and not to be able to get back with Savannah, Riz, and Nate. Although I'm not actually too sure how strong, whether that was just an alliance of convenience because you just made it on the first couple of days and then they stayed together, or whether she was really tight
I think
she was really tight with Savannah. Yeah, with those guys. Yeah, and it's a shame at the end of the day that she didn't get back to them at any point.
I think for me, and this is going to be my hottest take, and I'm going to say it now.
Ow,
it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot, and it's also like 2 weeks delayed, right? And people have had this conversation. I had this conversation many, many times in San Francisco, and people disagreed with me all over San Francisco. Just Golden Gate Bridge in the background, Alcatraz is there, which is disagreeing about this.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Like the non-hug heard around the world, literally.
Here we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the hug.
This is a dicey
coming
one.
In. Okay, hit me.
It was great TV. It was like the best moment of that season so far, and probably still. Right? If you were to say what one moment defines the season so far, that is that. That is that. I think.
Okay, this is the hottest take so far, Shan.
So Sage. It does make her a bad person not to hug Shannon. But I think it doesn't make her. I'm just saying it doesn't make. She's still a good person. But I think that because we saw Shannon so much as a villain, it was like, you go, girl. And I was like, this isn't a virtue. Like, she should have hugged her. I thought this was disrespectful. Like, if anyone's disrespecting someone else here, it is the person rejecting the hug. Now, I know this is dicey because it's like no one's entitled to a physical space.
Yeah,
and I understand, but I think that it's kind of part of, like, for me, I don't see a hug as a huge physical investment. I guess that's different for everyone. In saying that, I feel like, it's for me this whole culture, and like Sage is a therapist, but there's like over therapizing around like, I don't have the capacity to be there, and it's like, I understand that, and I am a people pleaser, so maybe my boundaries are like too lax, but it's also like we live in a society. You know what I mean? And like, hopefully, like a society of like kindness and respect. And that's why we have to sometimes have capacity for people, sometimes beyond what we can or beyond what we want to. Like, we do have physical gestures in the world, the same way you might go up and shake someone's hand after winning a football game. Now, when people like get blindsided, you're hurt in that moment, you're shocked, you leave. You know, when people are upset, we think it's great TV and we totally understand it. Sage knew she would win, so she wasn't surprised, and she won. I didn't think it was gracious in victory, and it also came across as what has Shannon done to deserve this? In the game, she didn't prioritize you, and I think she was kind of humiliated on a national platform.
Was she humiliated, or was this just Sage? This is just Sage going. I actually just think this is Sage. She got so caught up in being held to sort of double standards and stuff like that, and being disingenuous because that's what she felt Shannon was. Like, that was her main crux with Shannon, that Shannon was disingenuous, that she was fake. And I think this is Sage trying to be like, no, I'm not like Shannon. I'm not fake. I'm not disingenuous. I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh my God, hey, bud, I love you so much, when she's just voted her out and she basically got her voted out in the game. I think that's her thought process, going, I don't want to be seen as fake and disingenuous, by then turning around and being like, oh, yeah, I actually love you, and have her leaving thinking that everything's okay, when realistically it was Sage that got rid of her. I think that's all it was.
Couple of counterpoints. Firstly, she doesn't want to be fake. She's been doing the kissy face and then the eye rolls. That has been fake. I think that's been faker than anything Shannon has done. Any fakeness that Shannon has done, she's not aware of. That's my take. She's not been calculated enough or to be malicious. Like, it's not intentional. I think Shannon kind of is all of these things, and maybe my read on Shannon is bad. Again, she's not someone that I would usually kind of vibe with.
Yeah.
But like, to me, it's all a little bit more instinctive, even if it's contradictory. I think that's who Shannon is, and it might be frustrating, but I don't see her as being as intentional in a way that I actually think I do understand Sage a lot more, who is pulling those looks to the camera. I also think accepting a hug from someone who's been voted out is completely innocuous. No one's like, I can't believe she hugged her. Like, accepting a hug from someone who is offering it to you is like, no one would ever talk about that again. That's a completely innocuous thing, because Sage said this in her interview with Dalton Ross. She was like, well, then that would be more embarrassing for Shannon to see how I spoke about her and then I hugged her. It's like, no one would think about the hug. They would think about the eye rolls to the camera. Like, we're way past that. But that's been the issue. It's like, yeah, to do the eye rolls and then hug her. The issue was not accepting the hug. The issue was the fact that you've been saying these things about her and pulling the faces, which is great TV. And again, I would be annoyed in that situation. It doesn't make Sage a bad person. But I just think because Shannon has been the villain of the narrative, or like, yeah, you know, you do it. And I'm like, for Shannon as a human being, I just didn't see anything that deserved that level of rejection, of disrespect, of, I think, embarrassment. And again, it's a minor it's minor, but I think it's not like, for me, it's not a virtue. Like, if I went out there and then did that, would I be proud of that? No, I don't. I would be like, it's human. You're frustrated. You're also probably misinformed. You think she's maybe being more fake than she is. You're putting that intentionality onto her that you might have because you don't understand maybe that she's not as malicious, because she's, I think, so instinctive in ways that maybe, you kind of put how you would act onto her because you can't understand it. That's how I would feel, because I don't understand that level of like, I don't understand Shannon, really. She's so different to me. But I really do believe for her.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I think for her, really, it's all kind of true that she does love Sage. I do believe that. And she also wasn't working with. I think that all of that is true for her in a way that is not very malicious. And like, if Shannon's done terrible things to Sage, reject the hug. It's like, are you joking right now? But I just didn't think I saw enough there. She was kind of her own worst enemy, right? Like, we're talking about the reads and stuff like that. And then for it to kind of end in that way, great TV, understandable from Sage. But to me, it's not a virtue. I think it just comes back to that, that whole idea of like that overly therapized, like we've boundaried too hard, too far, too close to the sun, of just like what we're willing to give to people over, like, this is, such a modern concept of like over like our own needs, and that stuff's important. But I kind of think sometimes we push that too far. And that's what this was to me. Is there now a hot take? Is it worth it now to talk about it 2 weeks later?
It's everyone. This season's moved so fast, Shannon. It's just like I feel like that's been building up inside you for a while.
I've been thinking because I argued about it in San Francisco at so many different times, and no one agreed with me except Peter, who was like, "Yeah, you should be gracious in victory." I think that's what it was. It's like, you won. To agree. No, you listen to Gus and around. Peter rarely agrees with me. He ran around the entire event in San Francisco getting people to say that they agree with him on our gussing around arguments. But in this, I think it's because she won. Do you know what I mean? Shannon tried to come for you in the game, and you beat her, like it's done. Like you beat her. It was a resounding success.
So you're saying the other, you flip the script and you go home and you go to hug them and they go, no, I'm not hugging you. You just blindsided me. That's
Yeah,
fine.
sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. In that moment, you're hurt, you're shocked.
Yeah.
Even
You
though,
can say,
like,
you know what? I don't need this. I don't need these hugs. Yeah.
Being gracious in loss is obviously a virtue, but it's like, it is great TV when people feel it. We've always spoken about that. But like, I don't judge people who are like, I hope you get eaten by a freaking crocodile. Like, that's the painful. But like, I think it's just that, like, you won, Sage. You know what I mean? It's like, accept the hug and like move on. Like, I don't like, and if you've blindsided someone who's been awful to you and it's been personal, because rejecting the hug outside of the game, and I always come back to, it's like the moment where you go to get your torch, is actually you exist on two different planes. One person's in the game, one person's out of the game, and that's why I'm like, I hate when people give information, and I think they should be trapped.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can still be in the game. You can still talk to everyone. You can still do something in that moment.
Yeah, but you're actually like in completely different worlds. And for me, if it's like at that point rejecting the hug, there's no game mode. She's not on the jury. Like, it's all outside of the game. It's completely personal.
Yeah.
If Shannon has been so personal as to merit that personal rejection, I would see it. And maybe Sage thinks that, and maybe she's seeing that falseness, and that's what she thinks. Like, I could understand that, because she has been fake to her. She has been saying one thing to her and doing a different thing. For me, that was in game, and rejecting it was outside of the game. Not in a terrible way. It's not a horrible thing to do. I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's not like, again, like, I said, like, if like Peter were to go out there and like, would I be proud of him for like that? And I thought, no, like, I wouldn't be like, yes, that's anyway, that's what I was thinking through 2 weeks of.
I love it. I love when you get passionate about stuff, Shan.
Oh, and it very rarely happens.
It's mainly about hugs.
When else was it about? When else did I have spoken about hugs?
All the time, Shan. It's Huggate all over again.
See the feedback to this, because it is so sensitive to be like, Shannon is entitled to like touch Sage. Like, I understand, like, because it's physical, and like no one should be entitled to that. But I kind of think like, like Sage was hugging her in the game. She said this in the Dalton Ross interview. She's like, I knew I needed to hug her, because I couldn't let on to her that my relationship with her deteriorated.
Yeah, it was going, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, there was a purpose for that. And there was a purpose for this, like not humiliating her. Anyway, it's been spoken about to death, but that was just something I wanted to talk about.
Okay. We're moving on from the hug.
And another thing.
Finn.
Well, you think I went too far? I think I'm done. I think I'm done with Shannon. I think I'm willing to go to the next stuff.
Let's go. Let's go merge. Let's talk merge, Shannon.
Well, I mean, like, so what do you think about you like, at this point, like, obviously they had to vote out Shannon, Sage, and Juwan, and did you like them following it through to the big flip at the merge?
Yes, correct. So I just got to start by saying, no more mergatory. This is great. This is fantastic. We love that this is dead. We love this is dead. I liked the mechanic of still doing the challenge, and then half of them getting food, and then doing an individual immunity challenge. I thought that was great. I thought this is good. This is all good.
No,
this is all good. Yeah.
No, that's like being like, when you have like a shitty boyfriend, and he does something that's like just a regular thing to do. It's like, oh, well, they just normally merge. It's like, that's just regular. They shouldn't be like complimented for just doing it. It's like, wow, my boyfriend texted me back. Like, yes,
Shannon, they need to know when they've done something right.
Break up with him if that's the case. You know what I mean? If you have to celebrate,
Shannon, you can change him. You can change him.
Look at us. Look at this toxic relationship we're all.
All you got to do is get married and have a kid. That will change him.
And also then like you're finding the keys into the group challenge, into the individual challenge. I'm like, it's kind of been like 3 challenges in a row.
3 challenges. Did you like the key? Did you like the runaround?
I mean, it's all luck based, and it's also so key dependent. And just, I mean, is running around trying to find keys good television? Has it ever been good television? They love that. They love finding the auction money.
They love running around finding auction money. They love running around finding keys. When you think about it logically, though, any key on the path is not going to be the right key. It's going to be the keys further, because production want some keys that don't work there. So you've actually got to go further and find the keys that are a bit more hidden. Don't even bother with the keys on the track.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to leave them. In the moment, it's hard to think like that because you see a key and you go, I just grab it. But it's never going to be that key right in front. It's never going to be that key. But then the advantage wasn't even that. Like you
she
get the
got
food.
the feast, yeah.
She got the
To be
feast,
fair,
but
that
then
is
she
like,
didn't.
it's like winning a
That's pretty
reward.
good.
It's like an individual reward challenge, pretty much.
Yeah. But then finally, we've got everyone on the same playing field. But I just felt similar to you. Almost instantly, we knew that Nate was probably going to go home. At this point, it was so early on when you knew, because we already knew that Sage and Juwan had flipped, and at that point, there's nothing that those three could have done. And the edit wise, and because of what we know, he did feel like the odd man out in that situation.
Yes. I was like, the way in my mind, I was like, Nate's gone. Like in the first two, and then they start saying it. They haven't said his name yet. Then they start saying his name. You're like, oh no.
Oh God.
But I think, I mean, a lot of this comes down to like the idols and bluffing with the idol. And I'd love to talk about that because Rizzo implemented implicit immunity in a way that I thought was very strong. What I love about this, I was actually thinking about this before, is that like at the point where Rizzo was like, I have an idol and I'm going to play it on someone, you're like, well, he's definitely not going to play it on himself. Right? Well, because like no one who's going to play the idol on himself is doing that. Like he's doing that to scare you so you don't vote for him. So he's not going to play the idol on himself because he knows he's pushing votes away. If he wanted to play the idol on himself, he would draw votes to him. He'd be like, I'm never going to play it. Kind of what he was saying at camp, in the hope that you take the shot, and now he's negated all of the votes. He's definitely like, there's kind of this agreement when there's like a non-splittable implicit immunity, which is like, you can't vote for me. It's just, you're just not going to do that. And they're like, you're definitely not going to play it on yourself, but we're not going to vote for you. And it's just like, you have to shake hands and just like move forward. You know, because it's like Rizzo actually at that point is the most open target. He's just definitely not going to play it on himself. But you're never going to think that Hina at that point are going to be like, that guy with the idol, we can't split the votes and we're just going to vote for him. Like they're never going to do it, but he's definitely never going to play it on himself.
When you say I just think it's just too telegraphed. Like when you say I've got an idol and I'm going to play it on someone tonight, I just feel like that is the play of saying I'm just trying to get through this without using it. Like, I'm just going to try and get through this trouble. Like, it's so, otherwise you would just play it. You would just keep it to yourself and you would play it.
You would, like, and it's a public, you can keep it to yourself because it was a very public idol, but you could definitely be like, I'm not going to play it in the hope to like have a bounce back to like actually negate votes.
Yes, exactly. And so, but then why was Rizzo and Nate just not as close? Because it never really seemed to come across that it could possibly go on Nate. Like everyone there was really convinced that Rizzo could play it on Savannah. So, and no one really thought that he could possibly play it on Nate. So maybe it was just way more obvious that him and Savannah are a bit closer, and Nate really was sort of the odd man out most of the time out there.
Well, I think firstly, in terms of like Rizzo saying he's going to play the idol, he's definitely not going to play it himself, but you also can't vote for him. The implicit immunity agreement. Yep. But he's saying one of two things. He's either trying to get votes off himself and then not play it at all, which is what happened.
Yep.
Or he's trying to narrow the options to win on the idol play. Because you're not going to vote for him, so now he's out. So now it's kind 50, of between, pretty much a 50-50 if you're not taking out the Sophie that we know. So you're trying to decide, okay, one of those other options, you know, like a safe bet, and like Nate is a safer bet to them because they're reading that relationship, because he probably could play it on Savannah. He's definitely not playing it on himself. He might not play it at all, but he might play it on Savannah. And I was thinking this, and I thought, you know, they seem pretty well fooled by Sage and Juwan. I think they thought they would win. Yeah. But if you're Rizzo, do you play it on Nate? Do you play it on anyone else? Because at the end of the day, you're either going to win 6-5, in which case you don't need the idol, or you're about to lose 7 to 4.
You don't play it. You need the backup. And so it's like, you need it for the next one.
Exactly. So even if you save Nate, firstly, it could trigger an opposing idol play. You know that MC has something, they could get it right, and you lose someone anyway. But even if you win, all you've taken it to is a 5-6. Like, you're still losing. You've still incentivized this war further. Like, I think better to take it down to lower numbers. Hope Hina starts splitting and you have an idol. Even if it was Savannah, I mean, I always say ally over idol. But like the caveat is like sometimes, you know, you're in a sinking ship. you know, your ally is not that helpful. So yeah, I don't know that I would do that anyway. So I kind of think this was fine.
Now his idol becomes way more valuable, because all one of them has to do now is win immunity. And then you're in a position that, then you can play that idol on the other one. And then they have to really think about what they're doing moving forward.
Yeah. Well,
that's when it's more valuable.
Yeah, I mean, so there's the hope for Hina would be like, again, we can't vote out Rizzo. Like, he's done a good job of making sure he's not the vote. So now he can protect his idol and win or lose, go forward with an idol. Hina would be thinking, okay, you know what? We'll get you next time because we can split a vote. However, if someone were to win immunity, then there would be no splittable options. But also, it's the final 10, right? So gonna split them up.
Yeah,
so
so
I guess that's
ridiculous.
the potential and the fear, because that could only go badly. Because I think I saw it like, and I think the three of them are all split up. So either the three of them are all together, in which case that's a terrible situation because that's 3-2, or 5. So one of you has to go. Terrible. Or you're split up 2 and 1, in which case you can't split on the 2. It's 3-2.
Yeah, well,
you can't. There's no one to split with on the 4-1.
But so if you're Rizzo and you're the only one on that split, then that's fine.
What it is.
Yeah, because you've got the idol. So then you just plant seeds of like, well, I'm using this. So what are we doing?
Implicit immunity.
Because who's going to go home? Who's going to go home then? And then that's how. And then
you don't play it. And they're like, probably not going to play it, but we can't vote for you if we can't.
Because
split.
One of you guys is going home.
That's the agreement.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
In a perfect world, at 10, 7-3, they should be like very able to split. And I don't think it's going to be a double tribal next week, but it's going to be, I think, split. It might just be split for award. I did see group somewhere, but I mean, that's a lot worse for Hina. You got to feel bad for Hina. Like they have comprehensively won, and like that's not going to be a good situation.
No, but see, this comes down to the fact that it's never good to just win everything and just win and have your whole tribe like still there. It's no. But it's at this point in the game, at the merge, it's never going to pan out for you. You're always going to get everyone turning against you. The one thing that those guys didn't do, they didn't maintain their alliance. First of all, they didn't check in on. They didn't make Juwan like Savannah made Juwan feel. I still can't believe Juwan hung around as long as he did. But she made Juwan feel like he was annoying her and he was always doing this stuff. And she didn't really play it off that well. She didn't really play it off as like, ha ha ha, oh, Juwan, this is really funny. She was like, no, this is really pissing me off, man. And then the other one, like, Sage, no one really connected with her. No one brought her in board. They just didn't. They only started doing that when they needed to do it and when it was too late and it didn't feel genuine. You've got to have these people feeling like they're not 5 and 6. That they're actually, it's you and me, 1 and 2. Savannah and Sage, you and me are actually the 2 here. Everyone else doesn't really matter. They didn't do that. And then in all these iterations of the merges and the swaps and everything like that, they never really connected outside of Soph. They didn't really like seed any other strong connections there. And look, part of that was because 3 of them were on the same tribe again, so they didn't have to make those connections. But then Nate by himself, he didn't manage to bring anyone in. He's probably the worst one to be on a group like that because he had trouble connecting with people. So they never had that opportunity to build anything else with anyone else. And ultimately, that's where their game sort of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I will say, like, to defend the Juwan of it all, like, he desperately didn't want to flip until Shannon was actively coming for him. So I think, like, a lot of that is on Shannon. For Sage, we've seen Savannah put off Sage early.
Yeah.
And if anything, she went to Shannon. And that, like, and then Shannon went back to Savannah. But like, it was so evident to them that they were on the bottom of a tribe where push never came to shove. Like, I don't understand why it was so necessary for that to be evident. Yeah, and I think as well, something that I thought was interesting from both of the tribes with these swing votes is how little they cared about the swing votes' opinions. It was like they were all internally deciding. Nate's like conservative but safe, would go for Rizzo. And like Sage is like wants to go for Savannah. They're like, shut up, Sage. They would do it. Like even Hina would do like even Hina who win it. And Uli as well, where like we know that Juwan and Steven, and the best we got that was that Nate said to Juwan, like, would you be okay voting for Steven? They never were like, Juwan, what do you think? King and queen? The literal kingmakers?
No,
and they were just like,
they didn't.
Let's like have this little, let's talk about this as a group here, and then we'll just tell Sage and Juwan. And both groups were like that.
Yeah, it is funny that like ultimately they read that they were ready to flip so well that they realized, these guys are out on this group. And so they then knew that whatever we tell them to do, they're just going to jump on board because there's no other connection there. They didn't feel like they had to win them over. They were already done. They were already done. They were already out. So they picked up on that, which was really. And Stephen did a lot of hard work on Joanne. I think Stephen gets a lot of credit for really building that and bringing it across. Now, one thing I wanted to just check in with is the Alex and Soph of it all. This is Soph we know. Because they didn't end up voting together. And there was that one scene where Soph and Alex got back together and they had a talk, and Soph felt that she knew what was going on and she had the numbers, and she said, look, I'm in this really good position. I've got this. I'm going to try and get the votes away from you, Alex, and then like we can work together. She was sort of like, I don't know, she was sort of dictating to him like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm in this really good spot. I think she was being genuine about it. She did still want to work with him. And then Alex just seemed to be totally checked out on Soph. He was like, yep, I actually know what's going on. I'm actually in this group and I'm not going to bring her in and I'm not going to tell her. What do you think about him just totally leaving her out to dry?
I mean, he has a new Sophie now.
Yeah, he's got the new Sophie, yeah.
The fact that the name issue is like the biggest drama of the season.
I thought that was so funny when they started on that. But like, should we just get rid of the Sophies to make it easier? I'm like, imagine that. Imagine that's why you went home.
Why were they struggling with this so hard? It's been 49 seasons. We've had multiple people have the same names, and they're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? It's like, I'm sure we can find some sort of solution to this problem, but it was such a big deal. I did love how Rizzo was like, it would make it just more convenient for her. Like, that was like, it actively like worked into why they would target like the Sophie we don't know.
But yeah.
Okay,
but what about Alex and Soph?
Yeah, Alex. Alex is doing underratedly well with Hina.
Yeah.
Like, I think,
and he's not getting the edit for it. He's just in the background.
agree with you. Yeah. I think, like, you know, even in the last episode, episode 6, Christina's like, I have an amazing relationship with Alex. Like, well, what, you know, paraphrasing, but she was like, I really bonded so well with Alex. And then Sophie comes to Alex and is like, should we take out Christina? Like, they have their own Hina beef that they're going to Alex about. He's like a point person on that. Like, we see so much about how Soph is integrated into Uli. But actually, Alex is integrated really well into Hina. I think Soph even says it's like, I had a good bond with Alex. And to be fair, it was like a bond of convenience. Like, they weren't each other's last choice. Like, Jake got medevaced. Jeremiah had to go for reasons. Like, they weren't the two they would have ended up with, Hunger Games style, you know? Like, it just kind of ended up that way. But they trauma bonded through that. However, then they went off and just made like better connections that they actually actively would have chosen. And I think what was funny is that like they're both like, I'm gonna bring you across to the numbers. Sophie's like, you're welcome, and Alex is like, you're welcome. I see their relationship as like they have better connections, more seamless connections, but I think they would protect each other individually. I think that if Hina actually come to a swing possible, if they come to Alex and are like Savannah or Sophie's like Savannah, you know, and vice versa, if it gets to that. But I don't think that it's about choosing that one, again, you know, kind of unchosen connection over whole groups that you formed and are both so interrelated so well in and have seemingly connected so well with.
It'll be interesting to see whether Soph holds anything against Alex for not saying like, hey, you and me are meant to be in this together. If you knew what was going on, you should have let me know. Or whether she's going to be like, yep, you know what? I can see why you didn't want to do that. And I wasn't the target. So thank you for that. Let's keep working together. Or whether there's going to be that emotion there in the background going, yeah, look, he didn't actually tell me. We don't actually have a strong connection. If we had a strong connection, he would have given me the heads up that something was happening.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. Like, she needs him. She can't be mad at him. Like, he needs to hope that
hopefully
her best bet is that you would think would be that when Hina come together next time and say, who are we splitting on? That he says, not her. You know, it has to be this kind of like behind the scenes connection. This kind of like individual defensive relationship. They would just want like completely, they would just, you know, they'd spent all the time with the opposite tribes in this war. Like, they were separated. It's kind of beautiful if you think about it.
It's kind of beautiful. It is. It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, now, it's like Romeo and Juliet.
Soph has the knowledge is power as well.
Yes. Can we talk about
which I think is really interesting. Yeah, no, we haven't talked about this yet, but I think it's very interesting. No one knows about it, which is the ultimate position for the knowledge is power person to be in. No one is handing off idols to other people to hold them or anything like that at the moment. It's not on anyone's radar that anyone has this sort of thing. As soon as this gets out, it sort of becomes useless because everyone's just going to be moving idols around and stuff like that. But there is a position now where if they wanted to just get someone out and not worry about someone playing the idol, and she can just try and steal an idol from MC and just use it straight away.
MC used it.
Yeah, no, but this is before she used it. They could have, the tribal before, when they were in, when MC was the only one there, and she was looking for the idol. She could have just gone.
That would have been so annoying.
You know what? We're voting for you now. We're going to take your idol and then vote for it, and she would have been done.
It would have been 3 advantages on a tribe before, and it would have been not with how the game was designed, I don't think. But this game was designed this way. But I really thought that Soph should have taken the idol of this tribal council.
Because you knew exactly where it was.
It's golden opportunity. Yeah. Great scene, by the way. We haven't said like Savannah launching at the keys was
like a viper, like a coiled viper ready to strike. She was that was wild, absolutely wild.
I love it because like as MC says, it's like she doesn't know what the keys are for. Like she doesn't have the box. It would just literally be to take it away from MC. I don't even know if that's legal. Like
me and my brother had a chat about this as well. Is that legal? Because then Savannah has the key, which is the only way that MC doesn't have a vote still, so she just can't vote.
But you can't steal someone's property. You can't steal someone's idol.
But it's not someone's property. That's the thing. It's not an idol. It doesn't have any innate power in itself
until she has it. Yeah,
it's the equivalent of stealing someone's
property.
Yeah, well, it's the equivalent of stealing someone's shoes. It's the shoe bandit.
You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to do that.
Slightly move it into the jungle.
You're allowed to slightly move it, but you can't like throw the shoes in the ocean, even if this is like kind of happened before. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. I guess it's fine because the key isn't hers yet. At that point, she could just be like, I have the key. I think MC would just straight up tackle her. Like MC's very strong to give me the key.
And now I have the key.
Although no, at the point where Savannah has her hands on it, it's like it's Savannah's property, I think. And then I don't think MC can take it. This isn't like, Survivor South Africa champions where they could steal idols and they would wrestle over the idols. So I think at that point, like MC has a chest and Savannah has keys, and neither of them are allowed to take either of those things. And like now we've got ourselves a situation. And that was very entertaining.
And then it's just it would be really interesting to see if production how they play it out, or they just let it go and they say,
they would just do that.
Yeah. It was really, this is what happens when you start adding too many little things, because I don't think that is their, in terms of why they brought it in. I don't think that is their ultimate scenario, that, someone stops them from getting the idol by taking the key from them. I think it might be more a case of, I'm on your side, I've got the key, you've got that, let's come together and use an idol. Something, I don't know. Or maybe it's just a way for people to know who has the idol, so it makes using the knowledge with power easier.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just like having these like dumb little tasks that take up the 90 minutes of screen time. But
dumb little task.
What we would do when I saw more keys, I was like, what do they have money in keys? Like, what is happening? It's like someone was coming up with this episode while they like couldn't find their keys and they like had keys on the brain. It was an absurd amount of dedication to keys in one episode. I was like, I never see another key again.
This is exactly how the show keeps going. Some big key, or some big key manufacturers put a lot of money in the back end to survive to try and keep them afloat. Yeah, exactly.
It's working. Have you ever spoken as much about keys as we have in the past week?
Not since the TV show Amazing. Do you remember that?
No. What's that?
Oh, you don't? When you were kids? And they had to run in the maze, and you had to find a key, and if you got the key behind the cactus, you won the Game Boys. Oh, Shannon, come on.
Was it Australian, and what year?
It was filmed up in Sydney. This is like when I was in
person.
Yeah, but you went to school here. You went to primary school here, didn't you?
Yeah, what year was this?
This is 1996 and 1995.
Oh,
okay, you get a pass.
Not to age shame you, but
everyone else in the please don't. Yeah, that is making me feel old. Those in the chat of a certain age, you remember Amazing and finding the keys and getting the Game Boys.
I was 2 and I was in South Africa. But okay,
that is as a pretty good reason you were 2 in South Africa.
I was gonna say like the keys in Harry Potter. That's like what you think about that with like the in the Philosopher's Stone. But I was in the
room with all the keys flying around. The angry keys. The angry keys. Yeah. This is the Key podcast with Shannon and Eden.
Sponsored by Keys. See, that's how they get you. That's truly what's happening. Like Jeff owes money to Keys. That's what it has to be. To Alicia Keys, maybe? Maybe there's like an Alicia Keys thing happening.
Yeah. Alicia Keys is definitely
something
she
is
uses the
happening because
keys
it's
everywhere.
absurdly key based. But in Australian Survivor, what we do, what MC does, if Savannah actually gets her hand on the keys, sponsored by Keys,
Keys.
you just smash the box, right?
You just
That's
smash
what
the
we do.
box. I was just going
Yeah,
to say,
smash
we've
the
seen it
box.
before. We see it in Australia versus the world. We see it in Mark smashing boxes. This is what we do in Australian Survivor. You just smash the box. It's
Yeah,
easy,
we
and you
don't
get it inside. We don't
ask
worry. We
for
don't worry about that stuff.
permission.
Forgiveness, not permission. That's what we live by
I
over
don't
here.
remember where we were at before we went to key sponsors. Oh, we were talking about knowledge is power. Great.
Yes, knowledge is power. So
Like,
should Soph have just stolen it now and used it on MC?
yes. M key. Oh, my brain is broken.
I don't. I'm going to disagree with you there, Shannon.
Just a key. It's technically 4 a.m. for me. I'm jet lagged.
Shannon's losing it. No, I
yeah.
think Sophie, I actually think Sophie, I know that she was just left out of this vote and she's on the wrong side of the numbers. I actually still think Sophie's in a really good position. I think she is not going to be the target. She's not going to be the next couple of targets. They're not going to suddenly flip over to her and start to, if anything, she's going to try and work with Alex and get in over there and then use that connection. Then Alex is going to feel a bit more powerful with another vote. Then they're going to start turning on MC and Stephen and getting rid of these threats in that regard. But if she uses her knowledge is power now, I think it just raises her threat level so high to be like, oh, wow, Sophie's doing all this stuff. She knows what's going on. She's got an idol now and everything like that. Suddenly she gets put on everyone's radar. I think she just needs to use the knowledge of power at this perfect time, just before, just coming into the end game, use it, steal it, have it for one, use it for the next, and then maybe win a challenge, and then suddenly she's in the final. Like, I just think there is a road for her now, and I think if she uses it too early, especially the fact that nobody knows about it, and this is going to look great in her final tribal council speech where she can wait until the perfect moment, and she said, like, no one knew about this, and I used my social connections to figure out where the idols were, and then used it at the perfect time and all that sort of stuff. I think, I think she should have held on to it. I think it would have raised her threat level way too high if she did it now.
But like, other than Miles, like, no one's ever used knowledge is power correctly, right? Like, the odds of using it are quite high. The only thing that they have going for them is that I guess no one, like, it's not at that era of like the old new era where knowledge is power is such a big thing and people were always changing idols around.
Yeah,
because I think
it was pretty useless then. Yeah.
Eva had the opportunity to get knowledge is power, and I don't think this cast had seen that. So it's like really not on the brain. In saying that, I don't know if it raises her threat level so much. Firstly, I think her story is already amazing. Like, she played so much Survivor before anyone had ever seen a tribal council.
Yeah.
I think just defensively, like, it's aggressive. Of course it's aggressive to steal someone's idol, but it's meant to be a war, damn it. Like, and we have a war, but it's a pretty chill war.
Pretty chill.
I think just even defensively, like, you can play at that tribal council. Even just so that MC can't play it. Because it would have been so annoying if they actually had the numbers. They can't split in the group they think they have, and it's like 6-5, or she thinks she has Alex, but they can't split 7-4, 6-5. So, and they are worried that MC might play it on Steven. We know MC and Steven are very close. So I kind of thought that, I mean, like, now, annoyingly, the idol is gone. So she doesn't even have that opportunity in the future. And she also
she knows Rizzo. She can steal Rizzo's.
She's not gonna steal Rizzo. That would be crazy. I mean, Rizzo's idol is practically hers, right? Like,
that would be crazy.
I mean, taking it from an ally, like, so now she actually doesn't know, like, where the other, like, with stealable idol is, and it was just such a golden opportunity to have it. Just defensively, I think. I think that's kind of like, to me, that's like probably the best way you'll use it.
Well, I don't think no one's actually used it that way, have they? No one's used it to go, okay, we're going to vote this person out. They might have an idol. Let's take their idol away from them and then instantly vote them out. I don't think anyone's done that yet.
Well, we've always said that that's the best way to use, like, the idol nullifier.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a very powerful, that obviously is like dampening the skills of like an idol stealer, but like something like the idol nullifier, which is less powerful. We always said, just play it on the person you're voting for. You're either nullifying something or you're not, but they're definitely going home. Like, they're definitely vulnerable. So you could play it like that.
That's what they did to Janet, didn't they?
Oh, God.
She had an idol, they nullified it, and then they voted her out.
But my point is, like, it doesn't matter if she had an idol. Like, the point is that you just, like, the nullifier is used just by being like, we as a majority are targeting this person. If you have an idol, now you don't. If you don't, you don't. And either way, you're going home. And I think we talk about the nullifier like that more than knowledge is power. But I do think there was something there, and also just because it's just so hard to know where the idol is. I thought that, you know, like, and it can be like a tribe idol. You know, if it's a war, then let it be this war, and I don't think she has to take on so much of that personally. Like Rizzo has an idol, she has knowledge, power, like we all have our trinkets and we're trying. It's more actually, now that they have lost that war, it's actually better. Like now she has a trinket and can maybe do something, but it's more like if they were going to win, she actually risked that they might lose. That she like MC might play the idol on Steven.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The other thing is, like, they thought they were coming. They thought they were going to win that last vote.
Exactly. So it's for the assumption of the win.
Yeah, exactly. It was probably less like, well, I don't need to play this now because we're going to get out Steven. This is all good. Everything's playing fine. Then we can regroup and see what's happening in the future.
No, because even more so, it should be, we're gonna win. Let's ensure that win. Now it's if it's like we're gonna lose, it's like, well, I could really use this in the future. Like now I'm desperate. I think. I mean, they risked the fact that MC could have played it on Steven.
Well, yeah, but then, yeah, because they didn't. They all voted Steven, didn't they?
Yeah, they can't split.
Yeah, but I think they put enough fear in MC, and it obviously worked, that MC felt vulnerable.
Yeah,
Even though MC had the votes, they worked hard enough to make her feel bad, and so I think that was their plan, and it worked. And as far as they're concerned, that worked because she played on herself, and Steven was. It was just that Sage and Joanne didn't come with them.
That is true. That is true. I mean, it is kind of like, but I think as well as like if she doesn't have Alex, and maybe she thinks she does, but like if she doesn't have Alex, it's a 6-5. And if they lose that on a correct idol play, like now it's 5-5. Like those numbers actually are a bit tricky. Like they, in their numbers, like they actually needed to win and they lost anyway. But I think for it's for the assumption of the win that you think like, let's really put this one through when I know where an idol is. And I can just get rid of it immediately. Like it doesn't have to put it, I'll get rid of it next time. You know what I mean? Like I just think there's something there. But what did you think about MC playing the idol? Because I thought like, wow, this is conservative. Hina are like a very conservative tribe.
They really are, aren't they? At the end of the day, they're just doing okay. What is the path of least resistance? I actually think
logical.
I think it was fine for MC. Like the merge. You just want to get through the merge vote and just see the lay of the land because you don't know until people vote whether they're really with you. And if you can just get through it, I think it's better for her as well to not be like probably one of the strongest people out there and also have an idol at this point in the game because your threat level is going to be massive and it's going to be way more likely that people like your Sages and your Joannes and your Alexes are going to end up turning on you. If we've got to blindside MC because she's got an idol and she won't see it coming, and let's do that now rather than later. So I think I think it was good to just burn it and just get everything back to normal, get through that vote. Now she knows that Sage and Joanne are with them at this point and that they at least voted with them there. And so that solidifies everything. And you can still play up the whole Savannah's a big threat and Rizzo's got this and like you can still play that up as in terms of they're the enemy to target.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like this was her first vote. She's never met Joanne, who's a key swing vote for her. And she's never voted at all, let alone with Sage. It's very conservative. Hina, Hina.
It was Sophie, Christina, and MC that have not gone to tribal council yet.
Yeah.
At the merge. That is insane that they haven't really played the game yet. We're at merge.
I mean, it's not insane. I think if you've seen MC, like I think that that track, like she really earned that. I think she probably was a common denominator, and Sophie also seems pretty strong. But I think to be like they were trying to get her to flush it. Like she did play into their hands. Do you know what I mean? Like it's never nice when there's a conversation like we'll make her paranoid to play the idol wrong. And then she plays it, and it's like it's safe. It's not. It's like it is wrong, but it's like better safe than sorry. But it's like when the opponent like wants it, that doesn't feel great. It's just like I get it. It's not like a terrible move. Better safe than sorry.
Well, you can't claim it. Yeah, you can't claim it as a move because it's like, well, no, we did that to you.
Yeah, exactly.
We made you do that. Yeah.
And I mean, like to be fair, like so much has to go wrong. Like your side has to be wrong, which they weren't. Like you have to not have the numbers, and you're being targeted. It seems unlikely you'll go, but I do think like Hina are the type of tribe where they just watch their allies go on the swap tribe and we're like, bye, Jason.
I still can't believe
Matt.
that no one thought about throwing anything.
No one knows. Just like bye, and then they voted out Nate. And again, I get it because they're not going to vote for Rizzo, so they're probably not flashing the idol. Like his chances of keeping the idol and just doing nothing are very high. And Nate like is also a good player. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that the biggest missed opportunity for voting out Nate is that you're letting Rizzo keep his idol. you could do Savannah, but it's more risky, and Rizzo can still keep his idol. So it's kind of like you go like Savannah's like a middle choice for me. Like, do you go like Nate, in which case it's like a really safe bet, but like the idol will likely be kept, or do you go like you just go for Rizzo, which again no one's gonna do, and like really take the shot, and maybe you like really go for gold, take out someone with an idol, which seems audacious. So I totally get why they did it. I get it a lot more than not throwing challenges, but I'm just like, wow, Hina are like, we will do, you know, that like, and it kind of speaks to all their personalities of what I understand. Like Sophie and Steven, they're just like very practical, like responsible people, I think.
Very responsible, because, and this flies in the face, and I just want to bring this up as well. This flies in the face of Jeff's little pep talk on 50. Right? So Jeff stops the game and he says, hey, by the way, guys, spots on 50 are open for business and you've got to do something now to try and get those spots. I like, why not just win the season you're on and play well there and do something there, and not go, oh yeah, I should do something to get on the next season. I don't know. I don't like that thinking of, let's almost throw this game away. Like, what are you guys doing to get on another season? Huh? What's the big thing you're doing? I think this was evident that production felt that these safe bets were going on for a big part of the season, and this was done on purpose to try and get people to play a bit more interestingly and to do something and to take a shot at Savannah or Rizzo or just something. But again, they didn't heed that warning. I guess Sage and Joanne had been like, well, flipping is something interesting, so let's do that. But ultimately, it was
like,
really
I'm doing enough.
Yeah, guys, I'm doing my bit. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. Yeah. It's that concept of, I think production were feeling that, and they've tried to get Jeff to sort of move people in the right direction. But I didn't like the fact that Jeff is breaking the wall at this point and telling people, do something now and get on 50, do something interesting and you can get on 50 at this point. I didn't like it.
It's the fact that they aired it. They're like, we know the season's going badly.
Yes,
like, we're going to show you that we have. How do you think the conversation is between the cast, like after that? Do you think they go back to camp and they're like, the season isn't going well? They're not loving this season.
I think you do. There was a point, I'll just say this. There's a point after a vote that was pretty straightforward in my season.
Impossible. There was no straightforward vote in your entire season. I genuinely struggled to think about what vote. Nathan?
There was one. Well, good. And
barely. It's fine.
It was pretty straightforward. There was not a lot there. But there was definitely some like, hey guys, like that was really boring. That like
you're allowed one boring vote of 24.
Yeah, that was really boring, and we were like, oh, okay. And you sort of feel bad. You're like, oh God. But realistically, you're just playing the game to the best of your ability to go like, yeah, this is the optimal move here. But it does get in your head of like, maybe I need to do something crazy. Maybe I need some big move-itis, and maybe I need to blow things up a little bit. And it's sort of you start talking to other people, and you go, yeah, let's do something. But it didn't work in this situation. It didn't work. Jeff's little speech did not course correct everything. Like, yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Hina like, we hear you, Jeff, and we respectfully decline.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, it's sensible. Like, to be fair, that speech that Jeff gave is, you don't even have to tell me the behind the scenes. Like, that is Australian Survivor. We bring back returnees all the time.
Yeah.
And we only give confessionals to people giving good entertainment. So people have to earn their spot in future seasons and also their airtime. And it definitely, and maybe the way they cast it as well, but like it definitely makes people play big.
Yeah. I think people think about that. People think about like, oh, is this, well, you look at people that, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to get on shows and I want to have repeat opportunities, less than I'm probably not going to win this season. But if I can do something crazy enough, I could get us back for future seasons. But then when are you actually winning? When are you actually going to win something? Or are you just going to keep doing the crazy thing?
In Australian Survivor, I think it's a lot less about winning. You have a 1 in 24 chance. The hope is you come back, 3 times in 5 years. And, and that you're a personality. I'm not joking, I think that is a big thing for Australian Survivor because there's so much returning opportunity versus in US Survivor, like they haven't had a returning season in a very long time. We're not in an era of returnees. Yeah, so and you have 1 in 18 shot, and now you're here at some of you haven't even voted and it's the final 11. I'd be like, I'm probably gonna push to the win. Thank you though. I'm not gonna vote for the person waving an idol around, just in case, even though he's never gonna play it himself. So I think that Yeah, but I get Jeff saying it the way they said it to you, but 100 times more.
It's so weird that it was aired though.
But they airing it is what they're like. We're like, we agree with
that's
you.
what's weird.
Okay? Yeah,
that's weird that they showed Jeff talking it up and being like, yeah, it's and yeah, that's very strange choice. I don't know.
It's the fact that they were like, just a reminder, we're creating a TV show. These cameras are not for effect. Like, this isn't an LRG we've just staged for you.
And
right?
Like,
you're not just here for camp.
You can get on the next season if you do something crazy. Like, that's literally what he's saying. Do something crazy and get voted out, and then we'll get you back because it was that crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, if you're like circling the drain and like things are looking dire, it's a good option.
yeah.
It's a good option to do something bizarre. You know, it's a good
option.
To have,
who should
level meltdown or ask for a jacket?
Who should do it?
Well, no one's out of it yet.
No, yeah, but who is the person that should do something absolutely crazy to guarantee a spot? Christina probably needs to do something.
You know, like Owen was saying this week that Christina's looking at like getting a bit of goat potential. The way they talk about her, like she's such an easy option, is never great. Yeah, do something crazy. Let's do something crazy.
What about others? Do you have a theory on why other Sophie has been purple
other
for
Sophie?
The season? Yeah, there's another Sophie.
Sophie in a secret scene was saying how like the new Uli, this was last week, the new beach she was on, I think it was Uli Beach, has really good fruit, and she was like, I love fruit. I'm like, the only thing I know about you is that that's not true. So you can't be. So that's yeah, I mean, Sophie should definitely do it. We were calling her the Sophie I don't know. If she's like, wow, I'm being designated as other Sophie, though she claimed that name. She was like, that's Sophie and I'm Sophie.
Sophie, yeah, I know.
I think if I was the second Sophie on my season, I would be like, I'd do something crazy. Get on to 50. And then I'll be the Sophie on 50. That's right.
Then you'll be the only Sophie. Exactly. The one true Sophie. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what else was weird? And I wanted to bring this up because I saw that MC tweeted about this. So last
I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to. I saw it as well.
It's really crazy because it's so evident.
Yeah. Did you go back and watch it?
I covered, like, I watched both of these episodes in the last day. Because I'm like, you know, when I'm on vacation and they announce the Australian Survivor cast, it's like I'm only half watching. Then I have to go on stage and I'm like, what happened? No, but I watched both these episodes again in the last, 24-ish hours. And so MC says to Rizzo, Sage told us that
about
you have
your
an
idol,
which is true. Yeah. That is what happened. But there's no reason why MC would throw Sage under the bus. We see the story that Sage says is Shannon was the one who told about the idol. And MC says it was completely Frankenbitten, which is so like Australian Survivor coded.
Yeah.
And if you watch the scene, that's not Australian Survivor obvious, but like, that is clear. Like they don't show her talking at the point where she says the name. It is a you can hear it just logically is a Frankenbite. What a bizarre thing. It doesn't make sense for the story. Do you think it's because they wanted to give do you think they wanted to give Sage the credit? Because I gasped in this episode when she said Shannon told about the idol. I was like, hoo. She's really burying Shannon when she did that. That was like quite an active lie. But like obviously what happened was Hina all decided that would be the story, and MC already kind of like did it last week, and they just thought that would be too much of a soft launch of that lie. Possibly, but it makes no sense, and it didn't happen.
Oh, the soft launch of it. It's like the first time that they want to do this as a lie. It needs to be when the bottoms up come together and go, "This is what we're doing," rather than.
And it makes more sense coming from Sage as a TV moment, and like rather than MC throwing Shannon under the bus when Shannon's about to go on a tribe that MC and Rizzo aren't even on right now.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly just. It just makes sense from a story element, but that was so weird. I trust US Survivor more than that.
It's such a little thing. That. It's such a weird little thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Compared to Australian Survivor, where I don't trust anyone, anything anyone says unless I watch their lips moving. I'll see people at the well and I'll hear things and it'll like have that like the camera to their back and I'll be like, I don't know that this happened. I'll give people too much grace. I'll be like, they probably didn't say this. It's like, but then they did, but like, I don't trust anything anyone says on Australian Survivor because they will do that, 15 times a day. But US Survivor, I expected more from you. That was crazy.
It was crazy. And then MC just going out there straight up saying like, yeah, this is actually what happened.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. Imagine if I were to take this podcast with you now and then start like editing things that, like different names.
I'll just start covering and you can make me say whatever you want right now, Shannon, whatever you want. There
Shannon
you go.
is the best. That's what. Yeah. That was wild. I don't know if I have more. Do you have more from the episodes before we get to doing 2 weeks of the Chizzy?
No, I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to talk about. Yeah, Jeff mentioning 50. Yeah, it's pretty much everything there. We can get to the
Fifth
Chris points.
key.
Fifth key. That's
Sponsored by
right.
Keys.
Here we go.
Survivor 50 sponsored by Keys. When I was on stage, I was in the old school panel you guys can watch it, the RGP live show, and I asked Jenna Lewis if she thought when she was filming Borneo that like so much of the evolution would be so key based. Did you think that's where the show was going? Did she think we'd be relying on big keys?
Key to get us through? Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so good.
We make fun of the keys, but they are keeping the show in business. Okay, they're keeping the lights on. They're keeping the lights on, and we appreciate them for that. All right, let's do 2 Chizzies.
Okay,
Take
so
away,
what?
Jacob Sago Weinstein and MC Color.
1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's getting kind of chizzy. 3, 2, 1.
All right,
mate. I've got that. That is a great. That pumps you up for giving points.
Of course.
See episode 6.
Yeah. My Chizzies are gonna be like very similar. I've got like 3 names.
I've got some names. I've got some names.
You give me what you want. Episode 6 names.
Episode 6 names. I have 3 people. I have Sage. I have Stephen, and I have Blue Sophie.
Okay. Talk me through it.
Okay, so Sage, I think Sage did a lot to right the ship in terms of Joanne. I think that was pretty obvious. I think she basically gave Joanne the lay of the land and she set everything up there. I think Stephen did a really good job as well of getting Joanne on side, creating a relationship there, and getting through what seemed like a red versus yellow whitewash. And then Soph, in that, I think that's when she got her knowledge is power. That's when she found that one, I think. And I just feel like she solidified herself with Savannah and Rizzo. She locked in there. She found her knowledge is power, kept it to herself. I think that gives her 1 point in my book. Why
not Joanne?
Because Joanne is being led to water.
That's true. Had to be pushed to water.
If Joanne had pushed, or if Joanne had been the one that sort of said, you know what, I think Shannon's not being completely on board. I think if he was more active in it, because again, we see the confessional of Stephen saying, I'm trying to get in with Joanne. I'm trying to connect with Joanne and build something there. And Joanne sort of feeding into that. I just felt he was very passive in that situation. I feel like Sage used him, Stephen got him on board, and I think he didn't pick up that Shannon was after him until someone literally sat him down and told him. I don't think that deserves 1 point. I'm sorry.
Such a good point. Like, I wanted to give 3 to Sage. Did so well, brought in Joanne, was the right decision. Then 2 to Stephen, especially for how much Shannon's unforced error of protecting him really helped him. And also connecting with Joanne. But then the 1 I was going to give to Joanne, he does the right thing. And I think that even like in listening to the know-it-alls that week, like they were kind of concerned, like, what if Joanne's like a communal boot, or now like you have no one, but actually they were both like Sage and Joanne were both really like immediately empowered as swings, despite no one caring about their opinion, but they were in a powerful position. He really had to be led to it, and I don't even led, like pushed to it. But I don't know that like who else would I really? I'm gonna give. You know what? I'm gonna take away the point for Joanne because you've convinced me so well on that episode.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm gonna give a point to, but you're so right. You're so right, because for me, it's not for me, it's the fact that like Sage came to Joanne and was like, Shannon's coming for you, and he was like, but even so, he's too nice for his own good.
Yeah, but even so,
who hasn't come for someone before? Who can blame her? He was so Uli strong. Yeah, they were so done with him, and he was the most loyal person ever. He had to be dragged by the hand. You were right. I can't give it a point. I will give a point to Alex.
Yeah.
I want to commend where Alex has been in Hina, that has been so under-edited or like kind of just unnoticed. It's the fact that Christina would like talk about him so positively, and Sophie will be like, maybe we go for Christina, and he's like the like linchpin there.
He's the swing. Yeah.
And I think he has these really good Hina relationships. I think now that Hina is one and he has Soph as an option, I think Alex is set up very well. than
same.
what we see. So I'll give Alex the point there. Yeah, very good point. And then and then episode 7, what were you thinking for episode 7?
Yeah, episode 7 was a bit harder. I think Steven gets my 3 here. I think he's sort of the connective tissue with the Bottoms Up Alliance. He's getting back into with MC. He's pulling these guys together. He could go sort of either way. So I think he's in a really good position. I think he did enough this episode. Then I'm not sure which way to go here, because I've got MC in there because I did think she got her idol. I think she played it as best she could.
She got her idol, right, and she lost her. Like, this like immediate, like Grandpa Simpson meme, that idol. But sure, yeah. Yeah.
And then Yellow Sophie, I thought she has become the new Sophie in Alex's world. She won immunity. But I'm just not sure whether we're giving Sophie 2 and MC 1 or MC 2 and Sophie 1. Where are you at? Anyone else pop up for you?
Yeah, I was going to give Steven 3. I think that like Hina won and Steven did that.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk about it. Push came to shove, like from the beginning, from the fact that Sage was coming to him early, Shannon was coming into him early. I think we said this at the time, like he made the right decision about who to go with between Sage and Shannon. Even though Shannon was committed to him, she was still playing both sides. Whereas, I think even Shannon said this in the X interview. She was like, I had my options open. Sage could fully commit. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we said. So, he chose the person who could fully commit. Bonded with Jawan on that. And all of these things were playing out to get to this big win. I think he did a lot of the heavy lifting here for Hina. Yeah, so I'm definitely giving 3 points to Steven. I was going to give 2 points to Jawan here, and I actually won't take them away. Because while he had to be pushed into the Shannon vote, then he was all in. And I think
he did the right thing,
He's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Nate says, well, we were kind of concerned about Sage and Jawan. Like, they had also just voted out Shannon. Like, their cover story was very good. But in saying that, you still have to be like,
good. Yeah.
This is weird. And again, like, even if all they can do is trust those relationships. Like, again, even if Rizzo thinks they're going to lose, it's probably not best for him to even play the idol. He's gotten the votes off himself. I don't know if it changes a lot, but I do think that there were enough confessionals where they seemed to buy it at least more than 50%. And you have to give, not Alec, but you have to give Sage and Jawan as the swings that credit. And especially Jawan, who spent more time with them. Like Jawan, I think, is having to do a lot of that heavy lifting. And now he's like all in. He goes from having to be convinced to take out Shannon to like fully being all in on this Bottoms Up Alliance. I'm sorry, I know you know the name. I think there's enough there. And I'm going to give the credit for him flipping to what is better for him in this episode with 2 points. And then I was going to give a point to Sage, because Sage has been working so hard. Sage is doing that.
I thought about those two as well. But then, like, we sort of mentioned it in the episode where I feel like they didn't have any say on who went home. I feel like that's why I'm giving more points to Hina in that regard, because I feel like those guys were the ones that were deciding on the target. And I don't think
they're choosing which side wins. Like, at the end of the day, the way the pieces are rearranged on the board is one part, but which active side wins is all them. That's much bigger than which person goes home from the side that they choose.
Yeah, but if you want someone to go home and they don't go home, like that's a black mark against you, I think.
I guess it's like, Sage wants Savannah. Nate's also a big threat.
Yeah,
and Nate's the idol can still be kept for both of them by Rizzo.
Yeah.
So I don't think, to me, it matters as much as the fact that they made a flip that was good for them, that I agree with, and they did the work for it.
It's definitely good for them. It's definitely great for them.
I think that obviously, Uli have to trust them, but I think they also did trust them. I think that's impressive. But but you want to do Sophie and MC?
I'm doing Sophie. Yeah, I'm doing Sophie 2 and MC 1.
Yeah, MC. I feel like, like she played the idol, and I think playing the idol is fine, but I'm not like commending it.
It's fine.
Is it you giving a point to MC when they said like, they said they wanted her to play it and she did, right? Like,
yeah, that's true. But
it's also kind of doesn't really matter.
Am I going to take a point away from MC? Oh, I don't know. I don't want MC.
Yeah, let me do this. That's good. We can do the same. You did this for me for Jawan. MC, like, it was, again, like, it's not a game losing move. It's very conservative, and it wasn't really necessary. Can someone from Hina just be like, it's so conservative.
I think it gets a target off her back. I think it lowers because everyone knew that she had an idol. No, I'm gonna keep it.
Whose fault is that? Why was she standing there like that? Have some decorum, MC.
No, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does she not have the clue in her mouth?
And she's like putting her hair
because she's like doing something with her hand, and then you turn around and someone's like, "Oh, there's a bit of paper in your mouth."
Swallow it.
You've got to eat it. You've got to eat it. Don't you just go. When you turn around, you go.
MC has confessionals. MC has confessionals where she's like, "What are you meant to do?" It's like, I can think of something. That paper's going to go one of two ways. She
should have just gone like that, just straight in, and then just gone.
Was there just paper in your mouth? Like, yeah. Look, in Survivor South Africa, they ate a clue. I'm sorry, if you're not prepared to eat the clue, why are you even on the show? That's what gets you on 50.
Eat the clue. She ate the clue, ladies and gentlemen.
If she eats the clue, maybe she gets away with it, and she's on 50. It's a great move, and she's getting a chizzy point from me.
And she's looking, eat the clue, and then do the down the barrel the camera like nod, like you've just that you get on 50 if you do that.
Werner, when he ate the clue, was dunking it in water to soften it. I don't think you can just straight up. I don't think that you can just. From what I understand, you can't just just raw
I've got a clue. I've got a clue for my idol hunt.
Do it right now. You get on 50. You brought back on another podcast.
I'll do a separate podcast if we get enough views, and I'll eat the clue.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Now this is content, Shannon.
You don't have to eat like listening. You don't have to eat like a piece of Survivor memorabilia. Like you can just eat regular piece of paper. I would take that.
No, Shannon, you've got to eat the real laminated, waxy, like disgusting clue. You've got to force it down if you want to get on 50. That's the thing.
That's what this is what they've got me screaming at the TV. I'm like, throw a damn challenge, eat the clue.
Yeah,
God damn it! I'm just have these unfair expectations on this cast.
There's got to be something huge coming. There has to be something. That's the only reason why they show Jeff having that conversation, because he said, do something crazy, and they're telling the audience something crazy is going to happen. That's what that's the foreshadowing.
Right? Surely. Like 2 people are going to get on 50. We know that. They announced it already. Crazy order to put that in. I was like, if you do something big, you could still get on 50. And in the order of operations of us seeing it, we know 2 people.
And you already know 2 people are on 50. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, guess something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen, people.
If it's not clue eating, I don't want it. Eden, it's so fun with you all the time. Thank you for giving us your time and I've had such a great time, it's just so much fun to talk to you.
Thank you for the catch up. Thank you for the catch up episodes. It's always fun, Shan. I love the RHAP community. I love sharing my Survivor fun times.
I apologize. I talked about the non-hug that happened 2 weeks ago for 1 full hour.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, we still got about 31 minutes of good content.
Good content. That was good content. Okay, I don't know if anyone else was talking about this last week. I wasn't listening because I was away. But
people will be like, "Hang on, hug. What is she talking about? I don't remember that."
No, that was the biggest moment of the season. I do believe that.
Yeah, it was. If MC ate the clue, that would have been the biggest moment. But the hug's still up there.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a low bar. It wasn't a hug. It was a non-hug. The hug that didn't happen. Non-hug, sorry. 10 days ago.
The hug not heard around the world. Yeah,
exactly. I agree. I stand by.
Were you just going to say I agree with myself?
No, yeah, I do. I stand by it. It was worth talking about. I'm sorry that so much of this was key based, but
that's how I get my paycheck.
It's seamless. Seamless on the show and it's seamless in the podcast.
Yeah. Look, we're locked in now.
Yeah.
Close the doors. It's all happened. There we go.
Keaton.
Kyoto.
Tell the people where they can, because you podcast about the show every week. You talk about hugs that don't happen at the time.
Come on, if you love this, people, give us a follow, give us a shout out on Survivor Debrief. Me and Joshua Porter, my real life brother, break down every episode. It's been fun times doing American Survivor. Josh was a big fan as well, but then he fell off, and so he's come back to the fold now to podcast with us. just in time for some big boys. But yeah, it's really fun. So Survivor Debrief, give us a follow on every if you could. And I've also got Cancel Movie Report. We just finished the last season where we take unmade Hollywood scripts and we do basically audio dramas based on them, and we talk through why they didn't get made. Check us out on Cancelled Movie Report. But yeah, that's you just hit me up on Eden Porter 1 on the old Instagram if you want to have a chat as well.
You're a busy man, and yet you're here, which I appreciate.
With you,
yeah, I have stuff. What do I have? Well, next week we're gonna have Global Survivor. It's actually now just in a few days. I'm looking. I need to lock it in, but I think we're gonna do a Stockwatch crossover with Taran, which is so lovely. With him in San Francisco, spending time with him. So we're gonna do probably I think that'll be that. And then Gussing Around took a week hiatus. Usually we record on a Monday night, but instead I'm doing this.
I'm sorry, Peter.
It's fine. He's asleep. He's so jet lagged. He could not have done it. So it was great. Also, this comes first, but we do have Gussing Around. We're going to record that tomorrow, but we talk about our trip. Thank you to all the people who came up and said they were watching and listening to Gussing Around. It really means a lot. So yeah, Gussing Around podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, at Shannon Gates for everything on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. I think that is it. I think we did it. That's pretty good. Zippy 2 episodes.
Boom, boom, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, and you can check out the San Francisco live show. My panel was at the end.
Fast forward to the end, people. That's the way the
good
shit
everyone
happens.
Else. No, watch the whole thing. But I'm just saying, stay to the end. It's like definitely, don't it's not fair. I was like, what am I going to say after all of these people have spoken?
Everything's been said.
And yet we still did this whole podcast on it. So, but a lot of hug talk. But anyway, Eden, lovely as always.
Thank you. Until next time, Shannon, I will count down the days.
Yeah, when will the next time be, though?
Mate, it's your show. You could be next week if you wanted it to.
Let's do it.
Roll it back.
Yeah.
Roll it back, ladies and gentlemen.
Always so fun. Always a wonderful time. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Eden. Thank you to our team behind the scenes, and I will see you in a few days. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.